Hi, my name is Miguel Coyula and I directed Memories of Overdevelopment, which is a sequel of sorts to the film you're going to watch tonight. I discovered Memories of Underdevelopment on Cuban television when I was about 16 or 17. And it was very fascinating for me at the time because the main character, in a way, his uncertainty in his emotional life, it's a little bit like a teenager in a sense. It's like a person that didn't quite mature. Even though being very lucid about many subject matters, is also a misfit. And those are the characters that I was always interested in. All the films I made are, in one way or another, about a misfit. Because I think that characters that don't fit in tend to look at reality with very critical eyes. And Memories of Underdevelopment had that for sure. And it was a very important moment also for Cuban film and for Cuban literature, because the novel that is based on, after the Cuban Revolution in 1959, it was one of the few, if not the only, example of a subjective point of view, where you don't necessarily have to agree with everything the character is saying, but you have a character that is complex, that is not within a mainstream line of thought. Pretty much the film is a stream of consciousness, and all his contradictions and his self-criticisms are there as well. And that was very fascinating for me. Also, in terms of style, Memories of Underdevelopment is very interesting because it mixes, it creates a hybrid of everything that was happening in the European films of the 1960s. It has a little bit of the existential ennui of Antonioni. There are influences of Godard, Jean-Luc Godard, of course. There's breaking of the fourth wall many times in the film. And a little bit of British free cinema with the handheld, and Italian neorealism, which was the film school that Tomás Gutiérrez Aleas attended to in the 1950s. So all those elements and styles combined created a film that still stands the test of time today. And for me, it was very influential in deciding to make its follow-up, also based on a novel of Edmundo Desnoes, Memories of Overdevelopment, which in Spanish is Memorias del Desarrollo. But that, because I always thought that the conflict of this character, which a lot of critics have analyzed it as a bourgeois that doesn't quite adapt to the structures created by the Cuban Revolution, I think his drama goes far beyond that. This is a man that is unable to function in any society, in any political system, whether it's communism or capitalism, Cuba or the US or any part of the world, because there is something in his genetic structure that doesn't allow him to emotionally connect to people. It is also a time capsule of that time in Cuba, but it transcends, and that's why I think even 60 years later it's still pretty much contemporary. Because a lot of audiences go to see a political movie sometimes to reinforce a vision they already have on the subject matter, but not in order to enter a debate with themselves, which is, I think, the most challenging way of filmmaking. And the ones that really marked me when I was a teenager were those kind of films that really make you feel uncomfortable and question your very reality to the core. I hope you enjoy the film.